In the tiny town of Loa, Utah, lives a boy who is setting a big example. The swing of a bat, the toss of a ball.
When I first saw him, I was like, is this kid for real?
All basic tasks that 18-year-old Porter Ellett completes with ease. But a closer look reveals a not-so-easy challenge.
He's just like everybody else, except he does everything with one arm. I don't know, there's not much difference. You can't. He just another of the guys, does everything the same, except a little better sometimes.
Porter's all-out attitude reaches beyond the baseball field. It carries onto the court and into the classroom.
I feel like I've been lucky just to be here when Porter's here and just to be able to watch it. During the time that I've been here, I've never heard him or seen him be unkind to anyone. And that's an example, you know, and the way that he treats others, the way he treats his parents, I think he's pretty much the whole package.
When Porter was 4 years old, an accident changed his life forever.
I remember seeing the sagebrush when I was flying out of the truck.
When he fell out, we immediately stopped, of course, and gathered him up, and it had basically scalped him. I had a good friend of mine with me, and we immediately gave him a blessing.
The Elletts believe that blessing helped save Porter's life, but the nerve damage was irreversible, causing him to lose all use of his right arm.
Some of the doctors along the way mentioned amputation when he was just small, and it kind of devastated me at that time. I couldn't fathom that. I think Porter was a lot more receptive to that than we were, and he's the one that eventually made the decision to have his arm amputated.
That decision came with daily consequences.
I never understood why he had to do it twice as hard, twice as much, until I saw other kids. They were doing it half as much, but they were doing just as well as him. So he had to do everything twice as hard so he could be just like everyone else.
Porter credits his family, particularly his parents, for helping him believe he could.
When I was younger, when people would stare at me, it used to bug me a lot. But as I got older, I realized that people were gonna look at you no matter what you do, just because I was different. So I decided I could control what they saw when they stare at me. So I thought that was a good way of looking at it. And I wanted them to see something special.
Okay, it says, therefore cheer up your hearts and remember that you are free to act for yourselves.
Porter, honestly, is probably one of the finest young men I've ever met.
Cody Morgan is Porter's seminary teacher and also his bishop. He says Porter has a special spirit that draws other students toward him.
I came home the other day and I have a 3-year-old little boy who come running up to me with one arm missing. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm just being Porter. And I thought, here's a 3-year-old, my son, and I don't know if I could pay a greater compliment. I hope he turns out like Porter. I really do.
As seminary president, Bishop Morgan says Porter is a living lesson of happiness and hope.
I think his greatest asset, and the reason for that, is because his heart is bigger than his head. And it has always stayed that way.
When things aren't going so well or things get rough, you wonder, why do I have to be like this? But then you realize why. It's happened for a reason, and it's obvious that that God's done it for a purpose, that you can be something more than what you wouldn't be if it wouldn't happen to you. So I'm thankful for the challenge, the opportunity. I think it's so when other people see me, they can realize that things can be done, that when people tell you what you can and can't do in life, it's more of just them talking. It's not really how it is. You can become what you want through hard work. Things can be done.
He's a hometown hero, a young man who not only endures but embraces life's challenges. And for Porter Ellett, his ultimate strength is not demonstrated by the number of points he scores or the number of runs he brings in. His strength is in his testimony, a belief that through God, all things are possible.
Yeah, who better to learn from about overcoming obstacles and adversity than Christ, who overcame everything. All things are possible.